YouTube. Welcome to Jackie's Literary Corner. I am Jackie. As you can see, I have a book haul for you guys. So, as I said in my previous video where I talked about, how Black Castle Books is closing, at the end of the month. So, they were, calling some of their people on their list of regular customers. They give their email address and all that you can, come in and get books for credit. So the option is either half the price, the half credit, or you could get 100% full credit. So of course I opted for full credit. I still haven't used all of it. All my credit because I didn't want to go crazy just yet. And I still have until the end of the month. At least until the 28th, I think, is when, which probably is so that they can have a couple of days. But I ended up buying, or, well, technically not buying, I got them for free, about 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 books. And there was potentially one more I was going to get, but I decided not to. So let me show you all the books I recently brought home with me. First is one that it does not have a summary. Let me just check. Yeah, it doesn't have a summary on it, which is a little annoying when you're trying to decide if you want to buy a book. Oh, and it's actually, and what I also love about this book is it has, it's annotated, or at least it's stuff. So we have Man's Fate by Andre Malraux. And he is obviously a French author, and I got this for $12. Or I would have spent $12. So, according to Goodreads, it's a study of conspiracy and I can't read it. I forgot. Well, I think it's kind of one of those books that's like after the war. Let me see. Let me just. Okay, well, they have. Of course, they have some information about the author. I think basically it's during wartime and it takes place, I believe. Well, here's an introduction from the. I was hoping by. I think our main character is Chinese. Well, it looks like from the list of characters, we have a mixture of Chinese, French, and German characters. And I think it's during World War II. That's all I know. I thought, I just realized I can't technically read the screen because my, screen so you guys can watch me is blocking the where it says the description, but it's a war book. And I did look it up and it did sound interesting. So you know, it's just I can't read the description to you guys, and it's a book that does not have a dust jacket, so I can't, there's no summary of what it's, summary description of what it's about. The author is French, obviously, and it's a translated work. It says, let me read this little note on the author for you guys. Both as an artist and as a man, Andre Malraux has identified himself with the revolutionary forces of our time. His novels now internationally famous, are integrated in a deliberate pattern, the epic of revolution. So, and I think I do remember when I looked at the description, it said something about the revolution. The ever-recurring motif of his works is that heroism and courage ennoble man, and are the means by which he will ultimately conquer hatred and achieve beauty and peace. He was born in Paris on November 3rd, 1901. He went to Indochina in 1921, and from there he became an archaeologist, or from there he made an archaeological expedition. So he went on an archaeological expedition to Cambodia and Siam. In 1925 to 1927, uprising in China, became Commissioner of Propaganda for the Revolutionary Government of the South. A member of the Committee of 12, he was active in Canton insurrection and participated in hand-to-hand fighting. His novel, Revolutionary China, Man's Fate, okay, this talks about the novel, won the Goncourt Prize in 1933. He flew across the Great Arabian Desert and announced the discovery of the legendary city of Sheba. Since his return to France, Malraux has allied himself with the cause of extreme left. His last novel, Days of Wrath, turns the European scene and deals with the terror in Nazi Germany. So I kind of, I'm like, my problem, when it comes to World War II, I'm not totally against the idea of reading World War II books. But it would be kind of nice reading World War II books that are from a different perspective, and I think this is World War II related, World War II adjacent, I think. I don't know. Like I said, I have to re-look at the description of the book on Goodreads, what it's about. But I think it is drawn either World War II or World War I time, or maybe in between those. I don't know. But he obviously does write about World War II. Like that last sentence talks about his last book being about Nazi Germany. Okay, so yeah, there is that. The Man's Fate. Okay, next is one that's not a very pretty book, but that's what happens when you go to a used, a thrifted used bookshop, which it's sad that it's gone, that it's gonna be gone. They're not, although she did say that the owner isn't totally getting rid of it, so it might come back. It might just be closing for a while so they can revamp. But we have the next book is actually, this is twice I've had a hardback version of this book, and I did get rid of it once before, and I have been wanting to buy the paperback, and I decided, let me just buy it again, especially because I can, I'm not gonna be charged for it. And that is My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. This one is this guy, his I think it was his cousin. He went away to Italy and met this woman, Rachel, while writing to our main character, tells him about her, and they're gonna get married and everything, so he invites our narrator, who, he kind of raised our narrator, and so he comes, and then when he gets there, he finds out that his cousin is sick, that he's severely ill, and our main character doesn't trust Rachel, but then he kind of develops an obsession with her. So it's one of those books where is she a bad person? Is she messing with him? Or is it all in his mind? Can we really trust our main character? And I remember liking it. It wasn't, I still prefer Rebecca, but I did remember really enjoying this. Like I said, I had already owned this book as a hardback book before. And it was blue with a dark blue spine. So maybe, and this one isn't that great. It looks kind of messed up, like water gone on it or something. Um, what I could do though is put a dust jacket on it. Like I could find one or somehow make one. I mean, granted, I'm not artistic or anything, so maybe I really couldn't do that. But I could glue or tape a cover on here to cover up the, you know. But at least it has the title right here. I don't think the other one did. But it was like, I was just thinking when I was there, I was like, let me just grab it. Let me just go ahead and take it, and then maybe one day I'll come across a paperback at I mean, I keep seeing the paperback at Books A Million, but Books A Million is a bit more pricey. So at least this one, even though it's not a favorite, it doesn't cost as much. It's only $8.10, and plus, like I said, I got it for free. Essentially, I didn't have to pay anything. Because I used all my credits. I guess that's how the store's closed. So I'm gonna reread this. I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe one day I'll buy a prettier, nicer paperback copy. There's those two. So the next one, I have looked at this one before at that bookshop and thought about buying it. This is A Suitable Boy. There were 2 copies of this book, actually. But I just decided I like this copy a little better. Our main character, I'm just going to go ahead and read the back. Vikram Seth's novel is at its core a love story. The tale of Lata's and her mother, Miss Rupa Mehra's attempts to find a suitable boy for Lata, through love or through exacting maternal appraisal. Set in the early 1950s in India, newly independent and struggling through a time of crisis, A Suitable Boy takes us into the richly imagined world of 4 large extended families and spins a compulsively readable tale of their lives and loves. A sweeping, panoramic portrait of a complex, multi-ethnic society in flux. A Suitable Boy remains the story of ordinary people caught up in the web of love, ambition, humor, and sadness, prejudice and reconciliation, the most delicate social etiquette, and the most appalling violence. I do want to get into family sagas more often, and I've been trying to find the get more into books about India. Like, I did have A Fine Balance, but I ended up not loving that book. As much, like, I mean, maybe I was being unfair to that book, I don't know, but I'm not gonna, but I've already donated it, so, there's always a chance I might change my mind, but anyway, this one sounded interesting, like it's family saga, and, it does, and, has a little romance in it. It's set in the 1950s. So yeah, so there is A Suitable Boy, and I have looked at that one before. Like I said, that's another one that I've looked at before, and I thought about getting, but at the time I was like, no, I'm not interested. I did hope I was gonna see some Anne Rice there or Stephen King, but I didn't see any there. And they probably were already bought, which is okay because they have not had regular size paperbacks. They're mass market hardback books there. So, okay, so next is Johannes Cable and the Fear Institute. And so of course, it's a series. Well, hopefully it'll be one of those series that I don't have to, read them in order. Oh, they have their own stamp. That's cool. So I'm guessing this is a bit of maybe it's like a mystery series or something. But, beyond the walls of sleep lies the Dreamlands, a world formed by dreams, but not a dream itself. For countless millennia, it has been explored only by those with a certain detachment from mundane reality. Its strange seas navigated, its vast mountains climbed by philosophers, mystics, and poets. Well, those halcyon days are over beatniks. Johannes Cabell is coming. Cabell, a necromancer of some little infamy, is employed by the Mysterious Sphere Institute to lead an expedition to the Dreamlands, an expedition to hunt and destroy the dread and phobic animus, the front of terrors, the very source of all the royal sphere. They will enter exotic lands where magic is common and monsters abound. Cabell will encounter witches of vile abominations and far too many zebras. Oh, that's funny. And when they finally come close to their goal, Cabell will have to face his own nightmares. For a man who communes easily with devils and the dead, surely there's nothing left to fear. So the idea of the Dreamland sounded really cool. It kind of made me think of a book that, the second book in the Diviner series, which I still have not completed that book. I've only read like the first quarter of that book, first little chunk, via the ebook. So I want to get that on audiobook, but you know what I could do? I could see how much it is on Kindle when they get all the books on Kindle. But the premise sounded really cool, and I didn't have any fantasy books in this pile. Because here's the thing about that bookstore. It has more variety, like a lot more genres, but like their fantasy and sci-fi, section is, still kind of, there's like, it's a lot of mass markets and hardbacks and older works, a lot of older authors. So it's kind of like, it's not bad, but it's never like, there's nothing like, I don't want a bunch of mass markets for one. And two, some of the books I already have. And then I don't know. I mean, I hear a lot about Tad Williams, and they have some Tad Williams there. But I don't know. I like when it comes to, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I always find something that calls to me at that bookstore when it comes to fantasy and sci-fi. So a lot of times I end up going to the sections with the historical fiction and classics, and even then that can be a little tricky. And then I'm beginning more into nonfiction, which brings me to my last book that I got from there, which is this one, The Life and Death of Marilyn Monroe. Legend. Or it's called Legend, The Life and Death of Marilyn Monroe by Fred Lawrence Giles. It's a male author. So according to the back of this biography, sets the record straight. What you know about Marilyn Monroe is only the tip of the iceberg. Author Fred Giles, whom Norman Mailer acknowledges as the chief source of fact about Maryland. I keep saying Maryland, but it's Maryland. Maryland is where I used to live. Has written the life behind the legend. The legend reveals the facts behind the rumors about Marilyn and Jack and Bobby Kennedy, and tells about her startling relationship with both brothers. Legend reveals why superstar Marilyn and superstar Joe DiMaggio didn't hit it off as a husband and wife. Legend details the surprising events of the night of her death, her vain attempt to get help, and what really happened. But I actually also have Joyce Carol Oates' book, which is not a biography, but it's kind of a take on what she, a fictionalized version of Marilyn's life. While this one is an actual biography, so I think it'd be kind of cool to read these two together. Although I don't know if it's an accurate, it says it is. It implies that it's one of the best, and it sets the record straight. I'd be curious what other people would think. I do appreciate that the print is really big, even though this is a physically big book. So, wait. Okay, so list all the other books that the author wrote. And there's the first book up there is called Norma Jean, which was Marilyn's actual name, her original name. So, I'll have to look that one up. Oh, and he wrote a book about Jane Fonda and the Andy Warhol. I'm trying to think who Marion Davis is. I vaguely recall that's a name of some, like an actor or someone, I think. And then Hanging on Paradise. I don't know who that is. Tyrone Power, The Lost Idol, The Life of Stan Laurel. So I don't know who Tyrone Power or Stan Laurel is. And I have to look up Hanging On in Paradise. I would have to look that up as well. But yeah, this originally would have cost $16.95, but the actual book is $6.10. Would have cost me $6.10. But anyway, so that's what I got for technically for free, and I still have more money to spend next time before, if I, just in case maybe I want to go back there before the end of the month. But anyway, so that is my haul. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe if you haven't already, click the bell notification button below if you want to be notified about my latest videos. I hope your reading is going well, and if you've recently bought any books, or maybe you've just recently visited the library and are borrowing some books right now to read, please let me know. Would love to hear about that, and I will talk to y'all later. All right, bye.